Hello, this was the sound of the Delphis Botnia, one of the ships of the CMB fleet. It was sent to us this week from the Baltic Sea, and now the ship is moored in the port of Hamburg. This is why we do MCA.
Welcome everybody. My name is Deepak. I'm the ecosystem developer for the MCA community, and you'll learn a lot more about the MCA community soon. But let me call and say, if you have any innovation needs or need people to work with you, do not hesitate to call us.
And I'm Bart Huibrechts. I'm the managing director of MCA. You will hear a lot of times reach out, contact us, so please do. And a special thanks and shout out to the team of the Beacon who is hosting us today. Thank you very much, Michael and Victor. Before we start, one assignment for you. Please make sure that before we end talking, that's about 20-25 minutes, make sure you have something to drink. Is it a glass, a cup of tea, a mug? I don't care. Make sure that you have something there. And now, what are we going to do today? What is MCA? For those who weren't there over the last few years, we'll explain it very briefly. What's the latest on the MCA campus? And what are the rumors on some kind of co-working and meeting center called MCA Labs? And last but certainly not least, how to become an official member of the MCA community. Well, if we talk about MCA, it's a concept. It has different layers. You have the physical layer and you have the content layer. Talking about why we do things, why did we start MCA? Well, we all know that the European industry, maritime industry, is rather scattered and that innovation still has to start. What we want to do is strengthen that European maritime industry, strengthen those players by combining them, by co-creating, by putting them at the same table and creating scale and scope, because that's crucial in what we want to do. Why do we want to do that? Well, everyone knows the challenges concerning clean shipping and also efficient shipping becoming all part of the digital logistic chain on a global scale is crucial for our industry. Why are we doing that scale and scope stuff? Well, we need to keep up and we need to know where is the know-how, where is the technology, where is the innovation, and we need to be able to respond to that and work together with researchers, with academia, and everyone else from our industry, but also from other industries to work together on those challenges. And the fourth challenge, and it's one of the biggest challenges, is to open the black box of the maritime industry. Why? Well, a lot of people simply don't know the inside out of the maritime industry, and in the war for talent, this is a crucial element. The innovation challenges, you can sum them up. It's the total industry has to go through a transition in these 5 items that we've shown here, and you can get some kind of image in your head on what types of technologies we need to work on. If we then go to where do we situate ourselves as being MCA? Well, we are part of a bigger maritime innovation ecosystem. Is it something you can grab? No, it's something that is there, that it's coming to full wisdom and is growing. But what we want to do is create instruments, is create initiatives and bring people together to build our part of the maritime ecosystem. And how do we do that? Well, we'll work with our coalition of the willing. People are looking at your screens now. We consider you to be our coalition of the willing, and together with you, we will do whatever we can from a private initiative, but also in a triple helix configuration with academia, with researchers, with governments, from within the industry and from outside the industry, to do whatever we need and to build whatever we need to build this ecosystem.
So, in 2021, we've been kind of laying the foundation and we've interacted with a lot of people. Don't worry if your name is or logo is not on the slide. this is what the graphics people could fit into one page. A few highlights worth mentioning is the strategic partnership with Flanders Investment and Trade, together with the Blue Cluster, to put maritime innovation needs and maritime technologies onto the radar of the tech ambassadors, but also help bring innovation towards Antwerp and Flanders. A second one is the collaboration with Université de Namur, Antwerp Management School, and the Antwerp Maritime Academy to help draw talent towards the maritime innovation needs, but at the same time also help enrich the existing organizations and help them build the talent that the maritime needs towards the future. And then lastly, the launch of Plug and Play Maritime, a accelerator program that helps us bring interesting startups to work with the existing maritime industry. A second pillar of the community is events. It is a very important way to bring people together and have impromptu opportunities pop up. We did a few in 2021, of course, as much as 2021 allowed us to, but we will do a lot more in 2022. One of the few highlights is the Sdg Workshop that we did together with the KBRV to look at what are the strategic SDGs that the maritime industry needs to focus on. The Blue Innovation Awards party that we co-hosted with Dubai, where the Blauwe Cluster awarded innovation awards to in the maritime industry. We attended a lot of events to get a feel with what's happening within the industry, but also without the outside of the industry. And amongst them, we spoke at the IBM Think in Bellex about a fully autonomous research vessel and what autonomy can do for the maritime.
So now let's get to the campus. Most of you have seen the following pictures on social media or whatever. Well, we do have a building permit for this design, 40,000 square meters, of which this specific central building is 30,000 square meters. It will house everyone that we think in our community as a place there. You can come there for R&D, in light R&D, electronics, drones, whatever. But you can also come in R&D halls that more heavy duty, like testing engines, alternative fuels, and whatsoever. Of course, it's also a place where you can develop your business from a startup, from a corporate, but also where researchers, where academia can come, co-create, co-work, do projects, have digital labs or whatever, and work together really to get those things done, because we want to do rather than only talk. And it will take some time before that building is built, of course. So that's why we created over the last months MCA Labs. MCA Labs is a co-working and meeting center. It's situated at the Gerlachskai 20, where also CMB, Exmar, Euronav, and more companies are already housed. And what we will do there is provide one co-working spot for whomever wants to have a desk for half a day or a year or whatever, but also to really create a clubhouse for the MCA community. So let's take a look on how it looks. you, Mariama, for showing us around on the ground floor level. There's also an upper floor level with meeting rooms and suites in all sites and sizes. So you can come for co-working half a day, flex desk solutions. You have a suite for your startup or for your project team for 3 up to 8 people, or you can even come with your corporate and have corporate offices up to more than 1,000 square meters if you want to. More information on that will soon be released on our website. We will open after the Easter holidays, but feel free to contact us to have a sneak preview already and sit together and talk MCA.
So now for the community part. Most of you have heard about it somewhere or another. It is the religion to the temple, and it has, it'll bring people together. So we're facing a lot of big issues, and we need to be able to tackle them together. But for every challenge, you need to have a group of people, and it needs to be the right set of people with the right knowledge to make that work. And that's what we'll be doing. We'll be building the bridges to bring the right academic knowledge, the right government instances, but also external talent from other industries or from startups that can help tackle these challenges in ways that are not viable or not thought of from within the industry. So it is about kind of bringing a large ecosystem together, and either it is on an ecosystem level or it is on a challenge level. So the challenge is twofold. On the one side, you have the challenge on the ship itself, which is the industry and its need to grow its innovation readiness, so that more people understand how innovation works and how they can tackle problems in a collaborative, open innovation way. And to identify which of these problems needs to be tackled together and which of these problems they need to tackle themselves. And then second of all is to grow the coalition of the willing, get more and more people from the industry on board to understand that these problems will only be tackled if we work together as an industry. And then the second part of the challenge is what's happening on shore, which is outside of the industry. And that is to attract outside industry and talent to actually work for maritime innovation challenges. How can digital healthcare help in solving crew well-being on board? But for that, the industry also needs to work and define these maritime open innovation challenges that can then go to universities, that can then go to hackathons, that can then go to the outside world and say, hey, come, join us and help us tackle these problems. So indeed, 1 + 1 can be 3. It is strange math, but for that math to work, we need your help. It is basically about doing this together. And we will support everybody to help them make this, help us tackle the larger problems. But it is going to happen by doing it all together. So 3 concrete calls to action. On the one side, we would like you to send people to our events. 2022 is going to be a very special year. We're going to do a lot of things that we've heard feedback from in 2021 and actually put events in place. Send your people. One of the concrete things that we're doing is, for instance, with the Antwerp Maritime Academy and IBM, is Science for Sailing on the 16th of February, to start looking at what is the skill set that the Antwerp Maritime Academy needs to imbue into the officers of the future. But that feedback needs to come from industry. So join us there, help us. That brings us also to the second part, which is we can only tackle the problems that we know of. And for us to know the full spectrum, we would like you to tell us what we need to be looking at. And for that, we're doing several workshops, and we'll do several one-on-ones to actually get an idea of what are the large problems that we need to tackle together. But also tell us about what you thought of the events that we're organizing. Are we in the right course or not? And then last and thirdly, it is about doing. So we'll set up a lot of events or a lot of things, but the end result is always about getting into action. One of the things is on the 16th of June, we will be organizing Hack Blue Transition, which is a hackathon which will focus on transition in marine and maritime. And in that, we will get people to actually work on relevant challenges. For that, we need also your support. So wherever you can help us and we can do things together, we would really like you to kind of come in. And that brings us to how you can join. So 2022, we've kept it very simple because it's always chicken and egg. You don't know what you're paying for until you see what the value is. So the first year, we're keeping it very simple, and we're saying as an individual, you can join as friends of MCA. You will be kept informed on what is going to happen. There will be a kind of status updates events that we will hold, and you will get an idea of where the industry is going. This is for people, individuals that are interested in maritime innovation, either from a personal perspective or from a hobby from outside. But the second part is Explorer, which is exceptionally for a year, a very low price for companies to join in. You get access to all the events, and we will kind of help you give a taster of what community working can be. It is meant to be very democratic at this point to get people to join in. If you're really bitten by the concept and you say, well, I want to be able to put my shoulders under this and support this, we are working on a partnership program where you can join on an ecosystem level or on a corporate level. But for that, we would really like to have a one-on-one talk with you. All this information is also available on our website, mca.be, and you can see that as of now.
We're almost done, almost. I hope you now know more than you did before. And for the last time in this short call, contact us, we'll contact you. Let's sit together, hopefully at MCA Labs very soon, or digital, whatever you prefer. And finally, are you ready on the other side of the screen? Did you get something to drink? Well, then I would like to invite you to raise your glass. I would like to thank you for being on board. All hands on deck. Salute.
Salute.